Hi, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today this video is a little bit different. I normally do the what solds and my haul videos, but I've talked about this in my previous videos. We've made some major changes this year. Major. First and foremost because I want to work less and play more. So I had to make some major changes in my life. Because, y'all, I talk about how much I was working. Now I don't want to work so hard.
Y'all, the major changes, I've enjoyed being married to Rebel. But the times.
No, that's awful.
I'll cut that out.
No, you're going to leave it in.
No!
So, I made some changes. For those that don't know, I have been listing on eBay for 27 years. It has been our primary income for probably 12 or 13 years.
Quite a while.
Quite a while. We've been doing this together for a while. And I wanted help getting myself organized. And so we made a big change. We have changed our inventory management to Nifty. Watched lots of videos, and just everything I was seeing, I thought was going to make life easier for me.
Bob and Amanda over at Rocket City Resellers have been amazing.
Amazing.
And answered lots of questions for us, so go check their stuff out. And answered a few questions
along the way
in getting this set up and configured.
Yes. And so we're making this video to talk about Nifty, but also to kind of show you the things that we needed help with at the beginning to get it going. So this might be a little bit of a long video, but if you haven't heard of Nifty, it's an amazing program where it, does your inventory management, it does your cross-listing, it does your sharing on Poshmark, it does relists for you. Basically, it does everything you want it to do.
Sales detection.
Sales detection. It pulls everything down from the other platforms. It works in the background. You don't have to leave your computer on. We travel a lot, and every time I would take my laptop down, I was having issues. So, all of this is done in the background. It does everything for you. So, we're on Nifty now.
And we're loving it.
Loving it.
Loving it a lot. We had a couple things we had to change. We'll talk about all that, what we had to do to get this all set up. But I have to do the obligatory. There'll be a link in the description. So if y'all are interested in trying it out, click that. I think you get 15% off your first month.
Yes. And my code is the Rebel Reseller. All one word. We think all caps, but we're not quite sure on that one. But that's how it came to us in the email, was all caps. And you get 7 free days to start it out. But I did so much work right at the beginning, I automatically almost went into the paid prescription part of it. So,
Subscription?
Subscription.
It's like a drug?
Subscription. And so, first couple of things that has to be done is...
We made notes, y'all.
We made notes.
Because we are... Y'all know we're forgetful.
So the reasons why I switched, just the time savings. It's doing everything. My mornings are totally different now. They do your end and sell similar. Now, there's a caveat to that. For the last several years, I have been doing every single day end and sell similar. Usually 300 to 400, depending on how many listings I have currently in my stuff. So it's been about 300. The problem with Nifty is it only does 100 a day. I'm okay with it. It's going to end and do sell similar. 100 of my listings every day. I'm no longer worried about all of them every day. So
that's freeing up some of your time.
It's still less work, more play. I have it all set up that I'm doing all of my drafts in Nifty, and then I just click a button and they're all gone to the other platforms.
Sales detection happens in 15 minutes and it takes it off of all the other platforms.
You got to have business policies. We did not realize that when we initially had all of our inventory pushed over to Nifty, you have to use business policies
on eBay.
on eBay. So,
But luckily, y'all know Rebel is resistant to change.
I
But
have.
when I set my store up, was it last year?
Last year.
Last year, I set up my eBay store to do the close, and I told her that I'm going to stick with business policies. I'm going to start there. I'm going to stay there. And she got used to them and actually kind of likes the simplicity of them when switching me from like 1-day handling to 5-day handling.
When we're
It's just-
traveling. One of the problems I was having with my store was he's tried a couple of times to turn on business policies. It wouldn't do it. I think just the size of my store maybe was just keeping it in like processing, and it never was happening. But the other day when he did it, instantly on business policies. So we're going to show you how to do that. I'll show you the different policies that I have set up for my business. And, it should help you get started with it. I mean, if you are against business policies, which I was for a very long time, then Nifty's not going to work for you. You have to have your eBay store in business policies.
We've been on Nifty for 2 weeks. We wanted to use it for a couple weeks before we made up our mind to let people know that, yeah, this is the tool you should be using, because we didn't want to just use it for a day and say, hey, you should try this. No, we've been on it for 2 weeks. Very, very happy with it. The setup for Nifty was so fast. You spent, with another cross-listing tool, you spent days.
I spent 5 to 7 days all day getting each of my inventory items put into that one.
Into their tool. And this one took an hour.
Yeah,
and
less than an hour.
But you didn't do any work. I hit a go button.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. And it does all of your platforms at once. All of them. You log into all of your platforms that you use, and when you tell it to go get them, it brings them all in all at the same time. There's a little bit of finessing that you have to do once you get them, especially if you have stuff on other platforms. You need to let them know that, yes, all of these pictures, all of these listings are the same.
We had 8,000, almost 9,000 listings in your store, and it's called Verify Them.
You have to verify.
And it brought in 900 and some
that were the ones that I actually had on Etsy, because at that point I was not cross-listing to Poshmark and Mercari, my own platforms. I was doing some for Robert, but not my own.
The verification process, it had 900 items, and it would have the picture from eBay and the picture from Etsy on there, and you would just scroll down through there, and they were all dead on accurate.
Yep.
Right? All of them were accurate. And they're 25 on a page or something like that. You scroll down the page, hit the button at the top, and say all of them are right, and you go to the next page. It took not very long at all to get through those. So that part, the setup was so fast and easy.
Very easy, except make sure your store's not on sale.
Yes,
because it brings in the wrong prices, and that's too much work when you have over 8,000 to have to go in and change it every time you're going to cross list it. But they have a very neat sync system. You can do a quick sync if you're just adding a few things, or you can do a full-on sync, and it brings everything back again for you to confirm.
And you can do the full sync once every 24 hours. The quick sync you can do as often as you want. Let's say that
within 5 minutes.
Let's say that you don't want to try cross-listing or listing on Nifty yet. You want to keep listing on eBay and then bring it over. You go list your 10 items on eBay, hit quick sync, it goes to eBay, finds those 10 items and brings them in the Nifty. But Rebel's found it just easy to list the Nifty.
I'm used to doing drafts at this point, and I like their screens to fill in. And then once I've filled in all the screens, all of the platforms that I plan on cross-listing to are all filled in. So when I hit the button that says list, they all just go. They go to eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, and Etsy.
We've talked a bit about the why and kind of the initial setup, because we can't really show you the initial setup because we've done the initial setup. We've already done it. We can't show you that. If we were smart, and then we would have recorded all this when we did it, but we weren't sure we were going to stick with it, so we didn't bother to do the recording. So let's jump into Nifty, and we'll show you some of the features that we've been using. Rebel had run to the post office, and it's when I came to the realization that we really needed business policies to use Nifty. And when she got back, I said, I'm going to hit this button, and I did, and it actually worked. The business policies were created. It created a mess of business policies. It created 50 of them or something for the various items that were there. And then it shows you down here, we had a bunch of different business policies, and it would say like media mail, something, 3 listings. So we would go to those listings, and then I would move them to our new business policies that we created. And then once I got all of those gone, then I deleted those business policies that were auto-created by eBay. But let's talk about how we created our business policies.
Go up to your corner of your eBay screen that says hi.
Top left.
Yeah. Whatever your name is. You need to click on account settings, and then you need to scroll down to business policies. Now there's going to be some writing on the screen, and then you're going to say start.
Yeah, there's a get started if you don't have it.
Right.
I think a lot of people already have these. So
I think so.
If you have your business policies, you can skip past this, or stick around and watch, and we'll show you how we have ours set up.
Right.
So you have to have a return policy.
You'll be clicking there.
Hit return. So I'm just going to show you ours right here.
We do free 30-day returns. You know, I do the, what's that program called?
Top Rated Seller.
Yeah,
Plus.
Top Rated Seller Plus. So I get the 10% back in my final value fees for participating in this program.
We just name it simply free 30-day returns.
Yep.
And
Then you
allow
fill
within
in,
30
yeah.
days. Free returns are free for the buyer. You pay. And then the refund method is money back. We don't do exchanges.
Nope.
And then we don't do international returns. And you hit save.
Yep. We're
And
going to cancel because we
That
already
nice and
have it.
simple. You need a payment policy. We don't require immediate payments. Some people do. So set yours up as you need it.
And that's all we called it. Ours is no immediate payment, and that's it. You know, I don't require immediate payment. I don't do any of this offline stuff.
If you do require immediate payment, this checkbox right here is what you'll need to hit.
And then shipping. I have 3 set up at this time. In fact, we forgot to set them up. That's why these other 2 below, you're not seeing any listings attached to it yet, because I need to go in and adjust my books and CDs and stuff to medium L, and then my oversized items to the other one. But for now, I talked about, I have changed in my eBay store, I changed everything to calculated shipping. And, I don't do flat rate anymore for my things that are under £1. It just, with all the constant price changes, it was just becoming too tedious to keep up with. And we're all about work less, right? So I changed everything to calculated. So I only need this one business policy now for my shipping. And it's just calculated, and, just the shipping method. They're usually small to medium items, calculated based on buyer's location.
You could pick flat rate.
Which I'm not.
We're going to show you the rest of how ours is set up, and then we'll come up and we'll show you how you could set up a flat rate shipping policy.
Yeah. So,
But we got to cancel it so we don't mess ours up.
yes. So first thing I always pick is USPS Ground Advantage.
That's your primary service.
Yep. And then my secondary is priority for anybody who wants to upgrade. Very seldom happens, but it does happen sometimes. You could even go ahead and add a third option if you wanted to do the Priority Express or the overnight, whatever it's called.
You could add in UPS, FedEx. You could add in whatever
you want here that's going to fall under the calculated shipping. And then I have opted to add a 35-cent handling to all of mine just to cover the expenses, the boxes and all of the bubbles and all of that stuff. And then my handling, 1 business day. And
This
no
defaults
exclusions.
to 2 business days every time.
So change it if you do 1 business day, which you need to if you want to get into the
Top Rated Seller
Top
Plus.
Rated Seller Plus. I cannot remember that.
All right, so if you want to do a flat rate, you would pick here, you'd pick flat rate, same cost to all buyers, and then you could use a rate table if you want, but we're not going to do that. So we have to add our primary service of
Ground Advantage,
Advantage.
and you would set the amount that you want to charge based on
buyer pays. We're going to say just $4.95 for the first item, and then you could set up. This would be for like a 4-ounce package. Then you could set up a second flat rate for 12-ounce packages. Whatever you're gonna have set up. But we've opted for just calculated. But this is where you would go to do that.
All right, so go down and cancel. Don't
Cancel.
be messing up my stuff. And then we have one set up for medium L. It's just going to be medium L first, ground advantage, priority for all those choices. But like I said, I need to go back in and look up all my books, all my CDs, all my DVDs. I just have to go fix them.
So you just set your primary to media mail and your additionals to if somebody wants to upgrade to those services. So.
Yep. And then I've got one for my large stuff, the stuff that I have boxed already. That probably UPS ground is going to be cheaper. I do not do FedEx. And then sometimes ground advantage is cheaper, but the options are all going to be there.
Right. And sometimes somebody wants it to go to, they don't want UPS. They don't like UPS, or they want it, they have a P.O. box and they want it to go to their P.O. box, so they'll pick the ground advantage.
Right. So cancel. All right, so that's how you set up your business policies. For those who don't have it and want to try it and want to use Nifty.
So once you have your business policy set up, you could bring this stuff in ahead of time like we did. We did it. Don't do that. Just set them up if you don't have them already. And you come in here and you do your connection. You connect to your eBay account, and you connect to Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Etsy. Whichever ones of those you want to be connected, you come in here and you set your username and password. And some of them will ask you, like eBay asks, and I think Etsy asks, hey, do you want Nifty to have access to this stuff? And then you have to agree to give it access. It's on a second screen. You could also use their Chrome extension and go passwordless, and it does some of the memorization up there in that. We haven't done that here. Once you have all your connections made to the different platforms, I believe it's on this inventory screen that there's a button to do sync your stuff, and then we'll go out, and the more stuff you have, the longer it takes. Ours was an hour or something like that.
Hour.
But we didn't do anything during that hour. It didn't require us to do anything. I walked away and went and doom scrolled on my phone or something during that time.
And then this is at the point where if you had stuff listed on other platforms, you're going to have to do this verification. Right now, all my stuff is verified, but at that point, it said like 900 items. But like Robert said, it was super easy. And it's also a really good opportunity to catch some errors. If you have sold something on eBay or one of the other platforms and it's showing up on here that it didn't get delisted, it's a good time to catch those types of errors. You'll see, like for me, everything starts on eBay. You know, eBay is my main platform. Even now, as I'm doing drafts, I don't know if there would be, maybe other than used perfume. I think you can sell used perfume on Mercari. So it would only be on Mercari or whatever. But, you know, anything that I see on here, eBay better have an option, should have a listing. But if I pulled something up and it was on Mercari but not on eBay, that tells me it probably sold or eBay dropped it. So, it's a good time to find your mistakes.
If you happen to have something, we'll say this picture here is of like a truck instead of a train. You could come here, click this little arrow right there, and then move this to a new row, and it will move this Etsy listing to a new row and make it so that when one of these items sells, this one doesn't get delisted also. That's how you separate things that aren't correct. I don't think we had any of those at all.
I don't think so. No. And as you can see on this screen, my custom SKUs are there. So I still have trust issues. I want to know in my custom SKU where everything is listed, which is why you're going to see at the end of my custom SKU, you see E, M, and P. That means all of these items, as you can see in the photos, it's on Etsy, it's on Mercari, and it's on Posh. So when I go to sales detection, which is right here, if I see something and it sold on Etsy, but I don't see where it's been delisted, then I know there's an issue. I need to go figure out what happened. I've not had a single thing that didn't delist. Nothing for 2 weeks. And you can see on here, I've sold 131 items. Everything has delisted that should delist. I just have one little issue to talk about in a minute.
We have one more thing we want to talk about in configuring Nifty to work faster and better for you. Bigger, stronger, faster, right?
Yep, bigger, stronger.
So we'll go down here to settings, and then we want to go to shipping presets. Bob over at Rocket City Resellers told me to make sure I get these set up, and man, are they wonderful.
Yes.
These are things that you fill out now so that when you create a listing, that it will auto-populate information for you for the size of the package and shipping options and stuff. You can add a preset down here to add to. We may
make
find,
another one.
To make another one. We're going to show you one that we have set up. We're going to show you the 15-ounce one here. So this is for an item that weighs between 12 and 15 ounces. So on eBay, we're going to use what shipping policy? We're going to use our calculated shipping policy for this item. The weight is 15 ounces. When we have things that are under a pound, we pretty much always set the dimensions to 10.86. It doesn't matter unless that package is going to be really light and oversized for some reason, but we pretty much don't have anything like that that's under a pound. If it's oversized, it's more than a pound usually. It's not an irregular package. Our free 30-day returns, we've only got one of those, and we've got the only one of those.
Yep.
And once you fill this information in here, it auto-populates the weight and dimensions down here. But then we have to pick our shipping address, our Mercari shipping method. We're going to have Mercari's going to do the shipping. We're not shipping on our own. Which of these do we want? In this case, we're going to pick USPS Ground Advantage. It's the cheapest of the options here. On Mercari, for us, if it's over a pound, then the UPS Ground Saver is cheaper.
Yep.
And then who's paying for the shipping? The buyer is. If you're doing Depop, you've got some options there. And then on Etsy,
I might.
I've got things on there on Depop. You pick your processing profile, all of these things, your dimensions.
So when you're listing, what this is helping with is when you go to their listing page, partway down in the listing page, you'll come across the shipping presets. I can go ahead and say, yeah, this package is going to be 15 ounces, and it just fills in all of the other platforms for me. I don't have to go through each one of them to pick the proper one. So it's just another time saver that I just absolutely love, because I am doing all of my drafts on Nifty now.
We'll show you how she's doing that here in a little bit. And then at the bottom, there's going to be, when you're actually setting these up, there's going to be a save. We didn't talk about Poshmark, but if you give discount shipping or no discount, I guess we could pick that, but we don't have that set up at all.
You can go ahead and put no.
We probably should have no.
We should probably have.
We should have no discount there, but if you do either $4.99 or free shipping on Poshmark, you have that there. And now that we've made this change, there's a save button down here. And
so just set them all up. Are we done with them? No, because I don't even have a medium L set up in there yet, and I need to probably.
And we have these set up for 12-ounce packages, 4-ounce packages, 1 pound and 2 pound large, and we have 1 pound small and large.
Just to fill in the box dimensions for us easily.
Right. If we ship a large, we consider that like a 13-13-8 box or 13-13-10 box. But if we were able to have a more dense item that would fit in an 864 box, that shipping is actually cheaper. So by having this other one set up for a small box, it reduces the dimensions to the 864 box, and then the buyer won't have to pay as much shipping, and we're more likely to get the sale. Let's talk about sales detection now. This thing's going all night long. There's some issues with the unpaid offers on eBay that we have a problem with right now.
Yes, something sold on eBay. It's been 2 days.
They haven't paid.
They haven't paid because eBay doesn't make them. I guess I could turn on immediate payments, but I don't even think that makes them. And it's sold on Poshmark. So I'm kind of in that dilemma right now. But I think lesson learned for me is if they don't pay within, so ever many hours that I decide, or I may just do it right away, to go ahead and delist off the other platforms, waiting to see if they're going to pay.
How often do you have people not pay?
I probably do 2 or 3 or 4 a month.
So not very often. Now, once a week maybe. So it's not going to happen a lot, but it is going to happen.
But I'm going to wait and see. Hopefully, I've got 2 days. And technically, I don't have to ship Poshmark, I think, for 3 days. I don't like doing that, but lesson learned, right? Delist, even if it's... But if it's a floating offer where it doesn't even show up in your solds, then I wouldn't worry about it, because it's still available to anybody and everybody.
Correct. Yeah. You can just leave that one alone.
Yep.
The canceled orders. So we had somebody buy something on eBay, and then a few hours, so it got delisted everywhere, and then a few hours later they canceled it. and then eBay gives you the option to go ahead and relist it automatically. So we did that. And so once you do that, then you need to go to Nifty, hit the quick sync, and it's going to pull that listing in fresh from eBay. Then you could cross list it back to the other platforms.
Yeah. Because you can't, I've learned you can't go into your solds on Nifty and relist from there. You have to do it from the other platform and then quick sync it back. And then they turned right around and bought it again. So, which was good. I think it was a wrong address type situation. Another really great thing about Nifty is if you have multi-quantity, it adjusts your quantities for you. So if you have 3 on eBay and you sell 1 and you've got 3 on Poshmark and 3 on Etsy, it takes your quantities down on the other platforms to 2 and, adjusts the one on eBay. Now, Mercari, I just learned this from Robert, Mercari doesn't allow multi-quantity. So it will delist your item off of Mercari, but it knows that you have more than one and it relists for you.
They don't have a phone app, but we signed in on
Chrome.
on our phones, and then you can go into the menu on Chrome and say install an icon on your home screen for it. And by going in there, you can access all these features of Nifty right there on your phone. I use it when I'm pulling stuff in the morning because I used to have to come back and forth to check Mercari and all of that to see. Now I see all this. I go into the sales detection. I see all the stuff that's sold from all the platforms, and I just use that to do my pulling out here in the we could call it the warehouse, the shop house.
Now, the one thing with Nifty is you cannot have 2 eBay. You can't have 2 stores on any of the platforms. So those of you who have multi-stores, that may be an issue. We set up a second subscription for Robert's platforms, and they gave us 50% off of the second subscription. So, I mean, now on our phones, I can log into Brave and do the same thing I did.
That's a web browser, kind of like
That's
Chrome.
not Chrome. And, did all the same thing. And so now I have my Nifty and I have his Nifty on my phone, and I can go back and forth checking out the sales detections. He has some things in his Poshmark store that are in my eBay. We got to get all that figured out eventually. So I know to go in and look and delist them off of my eBay if it sells. So really nice company to work with on stuff like this. And it's just made things so easy for us.
Since you're talking about being a nice company, I want to skip down to where we had the support, and then we'll get in here and we'll do some cross listing. The human support. It's kind of weird to call it human support because they have AI support too. The human support has been great, quick to answer our questions, good answers. I feel like they actually know what they're talking about. I'm not talking about any of the cross listers we've used in the past. Other software that I've had to get help for, it's just like banging my head against the wall to feel like I'm actually getting the answers I need. But they've been very helpful for us.
But the chatbot,
Otto, his name is Otto, Otto.
It's amazing. It you ask it something like, I had something that in their inventory, it's supposed to be on Etsy because I looked on Etsy, but it wasn't there. And it asked me multiple questions. And then I was able to figure out what it was wrong. I had 2 lines. When it had come in, the Etsy order came in on a different line than the eBay. And y'all, it's just a matter of dragging the picture up to make them into one line. It was that easy.
So I popped over here to their support for Otto. Why is my Etsy listing not showing up? And it says, what exactly isn't showing up? Your Etsy listing in Nifty or your Nifty created listing in Etsy? It said to pinpoint, did you create the listing in Nifty or directly on Etsy? So I said, I created it directly on Etsy. And it said, if you created it directly on Etsy and it's not showing in Nifty, the most common causes are it hasn't been synced yet, a filter is hiding it, or the wrong Etsy account is connected. Do these things. And then it asks these follow-up questions. And I had some that I went 5-6 questions deep trying to figure out something I had done wrong. I did wrong. I wasn't using it right, the software. And it's just very, very helpful to ask relevant questions to point you. I was trying to do something and I was trying to make it faster. It said, to make that faster, do this. And it's a very nice chatbot for getting help from their system. And it always tells you, it has these footnote links here, 1, 2, 2, 1. these are the things that you could go to read more about. Show them how the cross-listing works.
It says on eBay, I have 8,378 items. I can go to eBay. It's going to be that number. The only problem is Poshmark. Poshmark doesn't get rid of your solds that you've sold. And I've sold on Poshmark for years. But when we started Nifty 2 weeks ago, I had nothing on Mercari and nothing on Poshmark. Neither one of them. Our plan was to use Robert's Mercari and Poshmark. We're switching gears again, and he's stuck at the 100 listings on Mercari, so I thought I'm just going to reopen mine so I can get all of this stuff cross-listed.
And it's paid off.
Oh
You're
my
going to see
gosh.
it showing up in the sold videos.
I mean, one day I sold 4 on Mercari, 5 things on Etsy. It's just been amazing. Now I can see, line by line, everything that should be cross-listed. These, depending on what it was, if it's not vintage or handmade, I can't put stuff on Etsy. Vintage on Etsy is anything before 2007.
20 years ago.
Yep. So these are all, I'm actually, I've listed 1,400 items on Mercari in the last 2 weeks. Etsy, I had quite a bit on there already. Poshmark, I'm about, I think about 1,200. So I think I'm on page like 57 right now.
So you click on the little gizmo down there. And
Yep,
you could...
the little arrow.Maybe 57. Let me look. Nope. All right, so let me show you the cross-listing. Again, I'm still not as far. I've cross-listed more than I thought this morning. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm to this item right here, the tan bear. It is currently only on eBay. It's $9.95. I'm going to go ahead and put it on Mercari and Poshmark. Not quite sure of the age, so I will skip Etsy for now. The one thing I've noticed, it puts everything that I brought over from the other platforms in the excellent category. I change everything to good.
Right. But that's only within Nifty. It did not change your condition on eBay or anything.
No, it just starts at excellent. I change most things to good. I just, what is that adage? Under
promise, over deliver.
There you go. So I put that there.
But you do have some things that you will list as excellent. Like we have some clothes that we might do that way that are, basically new.
Yep. And so it auto-populated for me. The stuffed animals. It says it's Walgreens. Yes. Sometimes you got to watch your categories. Sometimes it wants to put these in kids' clothes. It's read something that thinks it's a kid's clothes. But for the most part, it has been accurate. Stuffed animals, Walgreens. It's carried over my package dimensions from the eBay listing. And it's just list. And we're outdoor in our building. It takes a minute.
It's faster inside.
It's faster in the house. And then I'm going to do Poshmark. Scroll down. It's got all of this. The one thing with Poshmark is you always have to fill in the size. I just pick baby one size for all my plush. Unless it's like vintage and I know it's a boy toy or something. I mean, that's literally it for Poshmark. Because make sure your items are under 5 pounds if you're putting them on Poshmark. And it's list. It's that easy. I'm doing, 60, 70, 80 a day right now. Just watching a movie and cross-listing. Because I don't have to really think too much. Just pay attention to the categories and change a few things and it's done. What I'm doing as far as listing, I take all my photos on my phone. I will not list on my phone, but I'd also want to be faster. So I start my listings on Nifty in the app or the little quick button on my phone, load the photos, and then I save it as a draft and then I come back. So I have taken pictures of this little jelly cat already. So I'm going to go into my app on my phone. Robert's going to do a screen recording on my phone.
Robert's going to attempt to do a screen recording on your phone.
So first I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my drafts. I'm going to click add. Right? Then I'm going to click on the photo section there. Browse my files. I've taken multiple pictures. Here's the pictures of my jelly cat octopus. I've got 5 of them there. I'm going to do done. It loads those 5. I go down and in the title, if it wants to fill in some funky numbers, I'm just going to type Jellycat, just so I have my own word there. And then I'm going to save as a draft and then back it out. Make sure you back out. So just make sure before you do anything, you're going to see that Jellycat Octopus is now in my phone as a draft. And I do like 5 or 10 at a time. Then I'll go into drafts on the computer. Right there's my draft, Jellycat. I'm going to go in, I don't even know where, I'm going to say blue octopus, right? I know his height is 5 inch. I have a quick button here that's stuffed animal toy. At this point right now, I'm going to go ahead and go try to do a quick research. His name is Odyssey, Odyssey, based on my research that I just did real quickly. And then that's that. Then I'm going to go over here to the description. Again, I have quick keys. He's not in the brand new condition. So I have a quick key that says some playwear from play handling. I'm going to say his tag is slightly discolored. Point out all your issues. All right. I'm going to copy that because down here is that add condition description. You know, that little line on eBay, the extra one. I'm just going to paste it there, right? That part's done. Now this top part up here, I'm pretty sure this is from it. This used to be Posher VA, I think.
Yes.
So it wants you to start filling this stuff. To me, it kind of almost looks like initially Poshmark because of just the way the categories are set up. I'm going to do kids, toys, stuffed animal, the brand. I'm going to type in Jellycat, the size, baby, and then I'm going to change it to good, right? I'm going to go down. I'm going to list this just because of its condition, probably about $29.95. I don't do cost of goods. I've got quantity of 1. This is where I do my SKU. And this is when I get my little bag. I stuff it in the bag, throw it on my scale, and I have my labels here. This is my next number. So I'm going to type in 2601 because it's January 2026. Type in my custom SKU number. And I have a bag, a tote right here of everything that I'm listing right now. All of it's just going into that tote. So that's 041B. And because I'm not a trusting person, I'm going to be listing this on Mercari and Poshmark. So I'm going to put my M&P there. And that's done. I'm going to scroll down here. I could do color if I want. I can do style tags if you do them. I don't. Inventory labels, if you are using those, you could set them up for like Christmas, Halloween, and that way you could pull all your inventory in at one time if you wanted to do a bulk edit. I don't do them. Robert's been messing around with them.
That's a feature in Nifty. You could label all your Christmas items with that label, and then you could, in the inventory page, you could search for that label, and it will bring up all your Christmas items so that you could, in January, lower the prices or something.
Or, you know, you could do women's shirts, women's pants, you know, if you're doing clothes, however you want to do it so that you can pull all of them up at one time.
One of the things that they suggested was like, you could you could have a label for photos needed, and then you could, like, as you're going through and doing stuff, you could tag it with that label, because you could tag it with multiple labels. And then you could pull up all the items in the inventory that need additional photos and go pull them. It's just how it's there for you to tag it and organize it however you want.
Yep. Here's where the shipping presets that we set up in Nifty happen. They work. This item is going to be a 4-ounce item, so I'm just going to click 4 ounce. Right? So when I come down here, Poshmark is first. It's got the stuffed animals. I can add Jellycat. Right? Baby one size. It already has my price auto-populated from above. eBay, it's went into the Jellycat category. I'll go ahead and add Jellycat again. Size, it's under 6 inches. Store categories. If you use store categories in eBay, you need to fill them in here. I know this is going into my Jellycat store category, so I'll do that. And then usually my other one, unless it's something else like vintage or anything, I have another one that's preschool toddler activity toy. So those are my 2 store categories that I have set up. So those are there. Again, it's already filling in everything for me.
This information here in the shipping, that was pulled in from that shipping preset, the package size and the weight and everything.
Your return policy, your payment policy, all of that was from the presets that you set up. If you didn't set up those presets, you're going to be filling each one of these in.
So thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. All right, and then Mercari, I want to list it on there. Again, I think Jellycat is one of theirs. Yes. Not always. They only have specific brands on Mercari. Otherwise, just leave it blank. Again, it's filled in all of these for me. And then it's trying to do all 4 of my stores. I don't want this to go to Etsy, so I just go over here to the side, click on the X. It goes away. The really important thing at this point, right here, if you are ready to list this, you need to go up here to the top and click Ready to List. If you don't, if you go into your drafts and say, I want to list this now, it's going to go, So you might as well do it ahead of time. Then I'm going to update my draft because I want all of this work saved. And then I'm going to go back to the drafts. And it's there. It's ready. All of these are ready for me to list when I'm ready to list. Now, when you're ready to list stuff...
You could have hit the list.
I could have said right now, I want it listed.
On that previous screen.
Yeah. But even right now at this screen, if you want to schedule, all you do is click on these. I can click publish, right? And I can tell it publish at a later date and time. And then you can tell it when you want it. I don't do that. I only list 5 or so a day. So these are just ready for me to do. Tomorrow, I'll click my 5 and I'll say, yes, list them now. And it goes straight to all 3 of them. There's no anything. They're done.
So if we went on vacation, you could, ahead of time, set up to have 5 published every day that we're on vacation so that every day you're getting new listings created.
Yeah, if you don't know if you're going to have internet, any of that stuff, this is all working in the background, right? You don't have to have a computer open for it. And it will just do all of your scheduled listings for you. I mean, could I do it now? Yeah. I mean, I could every day get my 5 ready and then schedule it to go out, noon or 5 o'clock at night or whenever you want it.
Let's look at the sales detection screen.
Right here's the sales detection. I didn't even know this. I finally sold the American Girl travel bag. It was only listed on eBay, so there's no auto delisting to be done. I've sold this morning. The Troll Doll clothes. But if you scroll down here, like this item sold overnight on Etsy. So it sold on Etsy, but over here it delisted it from eBay. These purple plastic utensils that Robert picked up, they sold last night. So on eBay, and so it delisted from Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark. Easy peasy.
I think we've talked about everything there is about it. Okay, not everything. So there are features in here we're not using. Like I just looked up this morning about the how to use those shipping labels, or no, the inventory labels, just because I was curious. But there are other features in here that we haven't gotten to yet that might be useful for you and will probably be useful for us too. We just haven't gotten around to using them yet. But now we got, what does this cost?
Yes.
Yeah, we want to make sure. And y'all, this is cost as of January 28th, 2026 here.
Nifty pricing.
They have the automation there on the left side. That's if you're just going to do the shares, the follows, and the recreates and this, all of that. Or you could do cross-listing. It's the one over here on the right. Those are both $35.99 a month. Or if you do the middle one, that's where you have all of it together. That is, they have a name there for it, automation plus cross-listing. That's the one that we have.
Except that's at the 1,500 listing limit. And of course, we are much more than that. So their max bundle is $80.99 a month.
And the smart credits you see there, you use a smart credit every time you take the background out of a photo, or if you use an AI listing generator to create your listings. And you could do that. Rebel doesn't do that for her toys. She just prefers the way she does them, her method of doing it, and so that's listed the way she wants. We use it for all of our clothes. We definitely use that
the AI generator
for the clothes for sure.
So we'll get 1,000 a month in his store. Yeah, good luck using all of them. That's a lot.
And yeah, that would be a lot of clothes. But like we said, it's $80 a month, and for having the second store, they give us 50% off the second store, and that was just. I assume they do that for everybody. It's not like we're special or anything. Mm-mm. So the price is comparable to the other tools that are out there. This is just really, really an awesome tool for us.
Yeah, I watched, other than Bob and Amanda, I watched Mogi Beth. Mogi Beth has a video out that showed like the top 5 of these cross-listing tools, and it was the reason, one of the reasons that I decided to go ahead and try Nifty, and no regrets at all. Work less, play more. That's my life right now.
So you're liking it?
Loving it.
It's been really helpful for us, and we're going to get started on using it a lot more for clothes, because we have a shower leak last night, y'all. So I got to figure that out, exactly what the source of that is. So once I get that figured out, then I can get back to listing a lot of clothes on eBay and Poshmark and Depop, because I'm starting to. This is easy. This is so easy to get over the Depop. I've gone through and I've listed several things on there already, and I'm going to just take time every day and get more of them cross-listed from eBay over to Depop. Like I said earlier, the obligatory link in the description. We love it. If you decide to use it, we're happy if you use our link. We get a little bit of, it's an affiliate link. We'll get a little bit of money for it every month to help support our channel.
All right, y'all, get to work. Bye.